Meredith, go ahead.
Well, no, it's actually Phyllis. It's a smaller group, and because it's a workshop, I imagine that being muted is not ideal.
Right.
But just to be aware of any sort of outside noise will interrupt and make it hard for other people to hear. So if a siren's going by or your dog's barking, everybody will hear it. So it's best to mute that when it's happening. But I imagine if there's questions, Aleka is going to want to hear those.
I want to hear comments, questions, and also idle conversation as we work.
Right. The other thing is that I will record this just to let everyone know. And it will be available on the website. So without further ado, Phyllis, and then Aleka.
Okay.
I'll keep this short. Welcome, everybody. First message, just that everybody still needs to renew their membership. Now's the time. We're still missing many renewals, so little reminder. And then we have a harp concert coming up on Sunday.
Ooh.
So 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if we don't get our music today, you will have a live concert on Sunday. And then on Monday, we have Robin Gerber, who will be speaking on the books that she has written on women in leadership, primarily Eleanor Roosevelt. Robin Gerber is the one who wrote The Shot that Sharon Lawrence was going to perform in last March before we had to cancel. So we still hope someday to reschedule that, but meantime we can hear Robin Gerber. Okay, I think we'll just start on our art workshop. Aleka, you're on.
Am I on? Oh, there was some Barbie. Hi, are you raising your hand? Or
I did. I had a question. I was just wondering, are these programs open to outside members? Can we, for the next one, the lecture?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
That's our,
Thank you.
basically all of our programs, other than we're going to have a few upcoming virtual tours of members' homes, whatever. Those will be private because of security purposes. And then our confabs are usually just pretty much us. So
Yes.
the pre-confabs before them will be open. So anything,
Thanks, Phyllis.
anything else?
okay, am I on?
Yes.
All right. First of all, for Victoria, I can only see half of your face. So everybody, if you can't see the camera, it can't see you. And so please give me your whole face so I can see who you are, where you live. I'm very nosy. I love looking at other people's homes. You have to pan down. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Well, a little higher. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then we're missing the lady in the middle. Hi. Hello.
Lori Schechter.
And Lori, where are you?
I went to Getty, but I couldn't find her immediately, so we'll have to check later maybe.
Okay, so what we're about to do for the next 2 hours is a little tutorial on the art of the diorama, which we're going to do. And I want to make sure that you know that there's no pressure in terms of what it is you create. You do not have to have a finished product. This can be the beginning of something that you can peck away at for the next 4 months that we're in quarantine. I wanted to start by giving you a kind of a chronological tour of my interest in dioramas. It's a kind of a worldwide folk art technique, but it's kind of hard, and it has a wonderful history. But modern dioramas started in the 1700s, or no, the 1800s, and I'll give you some illustrations. And the real modern dioramas, as we know them, from things like the Museum of Natural History, the Field Museum, et cetera, are those giant things that you walk into. And believe it or not, Daguerre, who is the Frenchman who invented daguerreotypes, was one of the people who also created those giant dioramas
Wow.
with a scenic painter named Baton. And the two of them got to work and created a way to have an illusion that's three-dimensional so that you can see where you are. And we still do it. So I'm going to start with my little slideshow. Let's see. First, I have to do share. Bear with me because I'm a terrible technical person, but I've been drilled very well. Okay, green. Okay. First of all, the definition of a diorama can either refer to a 19th century mobile theater device, or in modern usage, a three-dimensional, full-sized or miniature model, sometimes enclosed in a glass showcase for a museum. So in my life, I was very moved as a child every time I went to the Museum of Natural History, and basically blown away. Also blown away by the train in Disneyland where you go through the dinosaurs. I don't know if you guys know that one, but you know, that you can create an image that stands on its own and has a reality to it or a fantasy world to it that's three-dimensional and sucks you in was very fascinating to me. So here comes my view of the history of modern dioramas. Okay, this one is from 1717. This is Caterina di Giuliana Santa Maria Maddalena in Adoring della Croce. Okay, so this is religious art, and there's a lot of 3D religious art that goes way, way back. So I loved her. I thought she was rich. Now you notice all the details, the plants, the animals, the skull, the Bible, her expression, the beautiful frame. Here we have the museum diorama. This is a good example. I wish it were a little bit bigger. This is from the Field Museum in Chicago. So I know probably all of you have experience with this kind of diorama in our childhoods. This is a piece of American folk art that I really liked very much. Looks like dried flowers, fashion flowers, little toys, birdies, flowers. This is Marcel Duchamp. Marcel Duchamp was a Dadaist. He called these museum in a box. So here's another Marcel Duchamp. You can see that he thought very long and hard about what he wanted to include in his museum in a box, and he did a whole series of these. Now we're going to switch gears and go to Peru. Peruvians have a wonderful tradition of these little boxes, rebolos, I'm not sure what they're called. I might have it written down. Anyway, they do whole worlds inside a box, usually with a door or a peek inside. Here's one inside a gourd, which I thought was lovely. This, I don't have the artist, but I found it very interesting. It's full of insignia that's important to someone. This is, I think this is Joseph Cornell. No, this is Rauschenberg. Rauschenberg. Okay, so we're in the 1950s. Abstract expressionists were fascinated by assemblage. An assemblage in a box is nothing but diorama, or diorama is nothing but assemblage. So this is also Joseph Cornell. Sorry, he used birds. This is also Joseph Cornell. And this one, I think, is the fourth Joseph Cornell. Now we're going to skip up to Betty Saar. Betty Saar is one of my favorite American women artists. She's African-American. She does a lot of symbolic stuff pertaining to family history and to slavery. She's very old now, but she's been working her entire life, and now she has two daughters who are also working. Here's another Betty Saar, where she gathered together keepsakes and put them into a box form. Let's see. Oh, now we're up to Red Grooms. Red Grooms for those of you who are not familiar with his work, was all the rage during the pop art era, but he was more of a kind of a folk artist. Instead of doing cans of soup, he was doing funny scenes of fire engines in Chicago and crowded movie theaters and theatrical productions. Here's one of a black and white of a Red Grooms, which I thought was just beautiful. So you don't have to have bright, colorful things. You can cut out black and white images and use those. This is a show of Red Grooms boxes at the Marlborough Gallery in New York. He became quite well known and then he disappeared. So if you go and look on, he's still alive, but he's not doing his artwork. Okay, this is a French woman named Delphine Laviste, collage and diorama artist from Amboise, France. This is from Christiana S. Williams, and this is at the Victoria and Albert Museum. She's doing very elaborate work and very colorful, and her work is beautiful if you want to go look it up. Let's see. This is The Garden of Forgotten Happiness, a diorama art print by Sergio. Also black and white, which I love.
Aleka?
Yeah.
Has the style of these changed over time? Do they relate to current events of the time or like what's in fashion at the time? Do you see any themes of that sort emerging from your research?
Well, yes, I do. You know, the abstract expressionists were they were abstract. They weren't trying to do a scene that we could understand. Let's see, what else? Marcel Duchamp, he was a Dadaist, which sort of predated surrealism. And his Museum in a Box is a kind of surreal concept, I think. Betty Zara, of course, dealt with issues that she was concerned with portraying. This is called Boîte en Valise by Louise Silato Brown. And I love this one because the box that you choose doesn't need to be a box as we know it. She used what looks like the top of a paint box to me. And you notice that the Peruvian gourd art was a wonderful example of thinking outside the box. Okay, so here, this is shoebox art. Now we're getting closer to what we're going to do today. I don't know the artist. I apologize if I don't quote the artist because I was looking and some of them weren't credited, which I found too bad. Let's see, here's another shoebox art, or actually it's not a shoebox, it's just a box. But you can see that people are doing, I think this one's called The Birds and the Bees. People are doing stuff that amuses them, is important to them.
That's great. I love bees.
The bees are great. Here's thinking outside the box in a very modern form. You can see they've torn the box into pieces and are using it that way. This is, again, Christiana Williams from, this was the one that we saw at the Victoria and Albert. This is another one of her work. I think it's beautiful stuff. She's very detailed. She loves animals. She loves flowers. She loves perspective. And good for her.
It reminds me of your stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm in my dreams. This is done by Miranda Ratner, our Ebell yoga teacher, and she's my daughter. And this is called Interior of the Universe.
Ooh. What is it made out of?
It's a wooden box that she collaged, and then the interior is collaged to do the universe, inside of the universe.
That looks very Miranda.
It looks very Miranda. And then this, I'm going to end with, this is my work. This got sold at a show.
It's beautiful.
It's called Lilith in Her Garden. And it got snapped up because people love Lilith. So I'm going to have to do another Lilith somehow. But this is, you can see these are stones, little plastic stones at the very bottom. It's based on a photograph of my other daughter, and behind it is the Japanese artist whose name eludes me, his waves. Then it's got 3D flowers that I made and 3D flowers that I cut out of a Land's End catalog, or flat flowers. And then the exterior is collaged with a sort of a rice paper that I found at a now defunct art supply store. So that's my slideshow through history.
I love how she's coming out of the shell like Venus, right?
Coming out of the shell like Venus, right? Yeah. So if you don't know who Lilith is, I'll tell you the story. Lilith was Adam's first wife. She was very unruly. She would not be controlled by either Adam or God. So they kicked her out of the garden. And then she became a very powerful demoness.
Why don't I know that story?
No, you can look it up. And there's all sorts of, she's sort of a feminist symbol. There's a Lilith festival, there's a Lilith music, there's Lilith this, Lilith that, but Lilith has become a heroine for the feminist movement because she was the first independent woman.
But they kicked her out. I love
I
that.
mean, you know, who wants a woman you can't control, right?
Totally. I feel that way.
All right. That's it. I'm going to stop sharing. Wasn't that fun? I loved it. I had such fun putting that together. So we are going to, what do I do? I've got you all here. I'm good. I have you in my clutches, but I don't see, only here I am. Okay. Meredith, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you, is there a way to make me big?
Everybody can, yes, if everybody puts you on speaker view, when you're speaking, you will be the big part, but depends on whatever you choose on your screen.
Yes, so people should not be on gallery view.
Right.
Should be on speaker.
Speaker view, which is the top right-hand corner. Aleka, you must be on mute. You have muted yourself, and for some reason, yep, there you go.
Okay, how's that? Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, everybody can see you.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so I'm going to turn my little step stool around so you can see the workstation. And I wanted to make sure everybody knows that I don't expect you to create a finished work of art, because really 2 hours is enough to start and think and play, but not enough to get it to the point where it's finished unless you work extremely fast. I like to pick away at things. I like to do something and then I might go off and find something else that, oh, that would be perfect for like a branch outside, and bring it back and see if I can stick it in. And I gave you a materials list, but that was just the beginning of the materials that you can use. It was a suggested guideline material list, but there's plenty more you can do. I found this photograph, I don't know if you can see it, in the LA Times, and I thought it was such a great photograph. It was on a very important article called Virus Proof Your Marriage, which a very important article because it gives you tips on how to get along with your spouse in quarantine. Pictures. So I thought I would include that somehow with what I was trying to do. And then here's a picture of me when I was young, and then I some artwork that I was doodling with. And then I've got little animals. I have Japanese paper. I have a piece of this like Tongvanese artwork that I copied on a printer. And I've got moss, and I've got little animals, a million little dinosaurs. Dinosaurs seem to be a favorite subject of mine because they're amusing and kids like them. And when I do artwork, when I do these dioramas, I really want them to be accessible to children as well. In fact, the last show I did, I had a little stool, so they were hung on a wall, but they could walk up the stool and look carefully into the boxes.
Aleka, can you move the angle of the screen down a little bit so we can see the base of the box? Oh, perfect.
Base of the box. Which box? This box?
That's perfect. What you did is perfect because we couldn't see the whole white frame.
All right, so this
Now
is
we, yeah.
one of the boxes, but I also have this box, which is similar to what you probably have, a shoe box or something like that. I think I'm going to work with this one because I like the fact that it's not that deep. So let's see what else. Oh, I asked you to save these. And these make pedestals. If you wanted to make something high, you would do something like this, you know, or cut it and then place your object on top. If it's something that's, you might, if you have a photograph, you can mount it with your glue onto another piece of paper or something to make it a little stiffer, and then it could stand upright. Another way to have something protrude is to take a piece of cardboard. I'm using an egg carton here. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm making a platform. It would look like that. And then you put it on, and then you can put something, you can color it, put something on top of it, glue paper on top, and then you have a platform to put things on once you glue it down. You could also do it like that. You could also do it like that, hanging from the ceiling. You could do all sorts of things. And it's sort of the same principle as a pop-up card. When you see pop-up cards, you think, how is it sticking out like that? And this is how they do it. They put something called a little step behind it. Anyway, so any questions before we start? All right, hello. Any questions? Anybody got ideas or?
I have a question. Do you start out with a vision for the box, or do you start out just by assembling an eclectic mix of materials?
What a great question. Well, I start out with.
Oh, now I am going to interrupt you because you got a lot of the table and now we don't see your face. So
I can also bring it closer. It doesn't need to be on the other side of the table. That's a great question. And I sort of start out with materials first and wait for inspiration. Although in terms of Lilith, I knew I wanted to do Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to do Lilith. I'm really fascinated by her as a mythological creature. And so I think I'm inspired by what I have on hand. But I'll show you two, before we actually begin, I'll show you two more pieces. This one is called Lucrezia Borgia Overlooking Rome. And this, I spent some time in Rome and I loved it. And I was fascinated by the television show Borgia's, and I loved her as a character. And so I did some research and found some old Roman, I guess, prints of Rome, of old ancient Rome that I was able to cut out, reproduce, cut out, and color. And then just it grew from there. And that's not really what she looks like, but I found a figure that reminded me of her. I Xeroxed it in black and white and then colored it in and then decorated everything. So it's quite fun. You can see if you have things like trim or crystals or lace or fun paper, all that can go in here. Photographs, artwork. The thing I don't have today is when I like to Xerox musical manuscripts, musical notes. This one is called, what is it called? A Heavenly Honeymoon, or something like that, a heavenly vacation, which is photographs and artwork that I reproduced. And it's Bill and I in Florence. standing over the Tiber. There, but for fortune, we would be right now, alas. There, but for virus, we would be right now.
Yes.
Okay, my dears. Anybody else have questions? Do you have good materials? Do you want to, is anyone particularly excited about something they found that they want to use? That's okay, I'm going to set you to work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work, and you can ask questions. We can chat amongst ourselves as we work. I recommend that you do the back of your box first, the sides of your box first, interior. The exterior you can do at another time if you want. And before you put things in to the box, you want to have a background that you like. If you have catalogs like Land's End, they have great colored imagery. If you have magazines with images of water, or green grass, or anything, sky is a nice thing to do if you have that. Or if you're adept and you have paint pens or anything like that, you can just paint it in there. But that's a good way to start, is from the back of it forward. One last thing, if you've got a shoebox that has a top, you can take the top, put the shoebox in it, and then you have a front yard or a platform for whatever it is you want to create. And it gives you additional space and a different perspective. And if you have a box that has flaps, you can turn it into one of those Peruvian altars.
Sounds good.
More questions, anyone? Okay.
Why don't you get started, Aleka, and people will just kind of start throwing things together.
Okay.
But you have to move your camera again so that we can see your table.
Okay, I'm moving it.
Now, I just wanted to say that we called this Boxes of Hope and Healing because Aleka did this workshop in person with a group for a health wellness conference that I was involved in. And there, people did concentrate on things that they wanted to work on or wanted to expel from themselves or wanted to forgive themselves for. So it had that theme. And we thought during this time of COVID and craziness, that might be a theme that resonated, but people can do whatever they want. Interestingly, those who did that theme, it became a really cathartic experience for them. And when they shared at the end, a lot of people cried. So it was really quite powerful to do the work on these pieces. But you don't need to have as your goal something traumatic that makes you cry. You can do whatever you like.
Thanks.
Anyway, Aleka, make more noise so we can see you.
Or we can mute too.
But I think people will have things to say, and it's easier if we just, this group is small enough that I think we can ask questions or make comments to each other without having to do the chat.
Yeah, although we can also do in gallery view, I see, and you can see what people are doing.
Oh, for now, gallery view might work.
Yeah, you can see what people are doing. I have to confess, I was just coming in as sort of a journalist here to write about what you guys are up to. So I have like Zipola prepared except for all that junk behind me. Although I did find a dead bee yesterday and I'm kind of thinking maybe I could go get that guy.
You kept your dead bee?
Well, you know what happens? I get these, I have purchased Apple products over the years and I always feel guilty throwing away these really great Apple boxes. I think they make just such a nice home for a little bee.
Yeah.
For a little dead bee?
Dead bee, like a little altar. Well, because you know, it's like I don't need the box anymore.
I think
Yeah.
you should do a box today, Patty.
Well, I might. You never know. I mean, I have so much other stuff to do, but I'm like, this is kind of fun.
Mhm.
So we probably not going to finish today, but it's possible we can share after we all finish. We can share each other the project together sometime.
In the
Great
future.
idea.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think today we should share whatever has been done.
Okay.
Want to, because it's fun to see and even during it, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to see what people are thinking and how they're
Okay.
beginning to formulate something. And you know, it depends on how complicated your piece is also. I mean, you can do a piece in an hour if
Okay.
it's mainly, you know,
Yeah.
gluing a background and putting dinosaurs in front of it, you know.
Yeah.
The idea of clearing at the end, I wonder how we can do that. Meredith doesn't seem to be here now.
Well, even if we can do it in gallery view, and then we could also change it to speaker view, and each of us could just say 2 words about our piece, and then we would be the bigger
But like
picture.
what Ruan said, when we're all done, maybe next week or something, to have a place to post our finished things. I'd love to see everyone's thing.
Yeah, that would be fun. Of course, there are some ringer artists in this group.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not fair.
We're all artists.
But I love the
That's right.
I need to get some stuff.
So I was going to, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I was going to say is that when it comes to doing personal boxes, there's no delineation between ringer artists and normal artists, normal people. It's all about what you want to do. And really, you know, it's your box. No one has to see it beyond us, or you could show it in a gallery. It's up to you. So, that's the story. And I'm very egalitarian when it comes to artwork. I believe in public art. I teach children and their parents, and I believe everyone can create wonderful stuff that they're proud of. And everything should be seen anyway, and appreciated by all. So that's how I approach it. And that's my spiel. I love sharing artwork.
So now we start do our own project now.
You can start, yes, you can start your project, and you can
Okay.
I recommend starting with the back of the box so that you're not
Okay.
trying to color it.
Okay.
Mounted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, also the thing that's good to cut up is when you get calendars from places like the Trust for Public Land. Those are great for cutting up. The 2021 calendars are fantastic as sources.
Aleka,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, are there any legal precedents if you sell a piece and you're using other pieces of art, like a calendar or something from a magazine, and say it does become a museum piece, as all of ours will? What happens then? Is there any sort of legal
I think
ramifications?
If you cut it into pieces, which I am doing, I'm not using the whole thing, but you know, I'm cutting out imagery. So I don't think there's a problem. If you were going to steal whole, you know, whole hog, someone's entire photograph, I would
Right.
or give them credit, but
No, there's a whole movement of art that has periodically been popular of appropriation,
yeah.
where you just change it a little bit or give it a different context, and then it's a new piece.
Right, look at
So,
the
so that should be fine. It's like sampling when you're doing
Right.
music.
Thanks.
I mean, look at Marcel Duchamp. He would take a toilet and put it in the middle of, you know, a urinal, and that was art because he moved something and said a different thing about it.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. There are artists who do nothing but transpose other people's artwork over itself on a canvas. If that were my artwork, I might be a little miffed, but flattered as well.
Aleka,
Yeah.
I found an old lunchbox somebody gave me once, and
Oh my gosh.
because it's metal, do you think this is going to?
It'll be fine. Yeah, your glue will glue on that. I recommended this particular type of glue. I'm using a glue stick for the paper because it, you know, it won't work. But this tacky glue, if you don't have it here, it might be worth ordering it from Amazon. It's fabulous, permanent, and fast. And clear. It's clear. It dries clear. It's amazing.
I have some tacky glue that I had, but yours is quick drying?
Yeah,
It
quick
says
dry.
original.
Yeah, quick dry. I got it on Amazon.
Mine says original, so is that different?
It's the same, just one. It will take a little longer.
Oh,
Put it out in the sun. It's a sunny day.
Patty, look what I found. A bee box.
That's great.
I wish I could get it to you.
That's so cute. I know. When you start looking, there's a lot of bee stuff around. Thank you.
The fact that you're making something for a dead bee, that's really, really appropriate.
I found this note card, and I'm trying to figure out how to get the inside of the apple box out. And then I'm going to stick it in there. There we go. Okay. I thought I would just say something that when we first diagnosed my mom with dementia, one of the things the psychiatrist said to me is to encourage my mother to do things with her hands. And my mother was never a crafter, but she was a cook. And that's what we did for my mother as much as we could. And it really, I mean, it would be transportive. She'd go from being a little confused to being this teacher. She would lecture to all of us. Wow. So I'm feeling like, maybe that's what we need to do, is things with our hands. Encourage more of that.
Is your mom still alive?
No, she passed away a year ago. But she lived with us for the last 6 years of her life, which was just and it was so I mean, it was wonderful and hard, but it was really instructive. And I remember there were things that, you know, I didn't really appreciate then that I appreciate now. And I think that just being able to do stuff with your hands. So Helene, you're right. It's therapeutic on a lot of levels. So, and I think we kind of move away from it because we're like, oh no, you need to be at your computer.
Right. And also people get very self-conscious about creating artwork. I don't know how it ever happened in our society. It used to be everybody could do stuff. And now people are, you know, hamstrung is the word. They say, well, I'm terrible at art, or I can't draw a straight line, or I, you know, or they had a teacher somewhere who said, I don't think that looks like it. You know, it doesn't look like it.
Right.
What? You know, that's not really the spirit of art is joyous.
Right. That's why native art is so wonderful, right? Because everyone creates it. Yeah.
And the whole idea of primitive art too, the naive art.
Yeah.
But it used to be that you weren't a proper woman if you weren't schooled in the arts. Right? You had to embroider, you had to paint, you had to knit, you had to sew, you had to do all these crafty things, or else you were not worth marrying.
I think we need to go back to that needlepoint at the Ebell.
That'll get us through the quarantine. One tapestry.
I used to do needlepoint, and it was too much for me.
Well, it's hard to see it too. You
Yeah,
know?
now I couldn't do it because my eyes are stupid. But
Yeah.
but it wasn't my favorite craft back when I was a crafter.
My niece and my daughter ordered needlepoint, and Allie looked at it and went, "I don't want to do this, Mom." It's like, she got herself a Switch instead. So she's applying her crafter skills to her island on Animal Crossing.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Funny.
To her what? What is that, a game?
So Animal Crossing is this game, and I didn't know what it was. Switch is a Nintendo thing. Laura, help me out. You've got a 20-something. And
My son was obsessed with Animal Crossing when he was, I don't know, early teenager maybe.
uh-huh.
Now he's 27 and they've put out this new version and he went right back to it.
Right. So she didn't get it because she's a girl, right? We didn't do that kind of thing. Girls in our house didn't do that. But now she's like, she has her friends and they meet up and they have their island and they decorate their island and they can have a museum on their island. I mean, yeah. And then people make appearances sometimes in the game, like famous people. I'm trying to think who like might appear in the game, but it's gotten to be a huge thing. Yeah, like maybe somebody like, I don't know, somebody famous.
I'm sorry, what is it called?
It's called Animal Crossing. Actually, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez plays it. Uh-huh.
She's showing her age.
Yeah, well, it's very cool. And Allie she'll say to me, "Mom, come look at my island." And I have to sit down and look at the island. And it's amazing, right, Laura? What they can do.
Incredible.
And when you think about the programming that's gone into it, it's even more incredible.
Yeah.
Because it's, the people who are designing these programs, it's pretty ingenious.
Yes, now you can major in that, gaming.
Yeah.
Is everybody having fun?
Yep.
So if you guys have musical notations anywhere, that's a wonderful thing to copy and cut up. It's beautiful, it's graphic, and it can be meaningful if it's music that you love.
Probably has plenty of musical notations.
So are people working with themes or just stuff they like?
I'm just following Aleka's instruction to start with the background that you like.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The first time when I was the first time I was an empty nester, I was so bereft, and it felt so empty in my home. And I discovered I had a lot of school supplies and little toys, all those little plastic toys that the kids left behind from their childhood. So I used to do artwork using those. It was called the Empty Nest series.
That's great.
Yeah. It's sort of pop arty because they were all that stuff from the 90s and aughts. Plastic troll dolls and things like that.
So who are the artists in this group?
Not me.
Well, Laura has had a piece in the member show. I've had pieces in the member show. Phyllis had pieces in the member show. So there are people who at least
Laura.
dabble.
What medium or which mediums?
Collage.
Everyone was collage?
No, no. Oh, hers were.
The first ones I did prints of collages.
Mm.
But I was doing black and white collages for years, and that was fun. That's fun to do black and white.
My art is sort of a collage form in a way. I work with pressed flowers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and incorporate some of them that I have into my piece.
Wow. Is that a real flower?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
I want one.
That is so gorgeous.
How do you do that?
Well, there's many ways to do it, but my instant gratification way is I have a flower press. I'll show you. And I use it in the microwave, especially time for the microwave.
Oh.
So well, let me show you.
Okay.
Microwave.
Microwave.
I'm actually making a collage for my niece who just graduated from high school. Her birthday's next week.
Oh, nice.
What's the theme?
How great she is.
Of course.
Going to the future, you know, all that.
Nice.
So this is my little microwave, the mini one, and then I have a larger one too.
Oh, wow.
These
Can
are,
you make those with stuff at home, or do you have to buy actual flower presses?
this one you could sort of, I have done it with tiles. With terracotta tiles, you could get the same effect.
Oh, that's nice.
Can you do one of these art things, Phyllis?
Well,
With using
Flowers.
it's really like a two-part thing because you would have to spend one session learning to press the flowers and then the second session to create something with them. But you
That's
would
possible. That could be fun.
That'd be fun.
So anyway, it's like a little sandwich where you have a plastic platen, you have felt, and then a layer of cotton sheeting. This one's kind of dirty. And so you have like two layers of the sandwich. You put them together, and then there's little plastic clips that go in the corners. And then you stick it in the microwave for, each flower is going to be a little different, but like 20 seconds. And then another burst of 20 seconds for an average flower would pretty much do it. And I just, when I went to look for it in the kitchen, I found out that I had left one in the microwave that I'd forgotten about, so I don't even remember what's in it, but let's see. Oh, okay, these are some little flowers I picked up yesterday, I forgot about, when I was over at Farmer's Market. And
Ah,
Oh,
they were just on the side and I snitched a few.
nice.
This one came out nice. I don't know what it is.
What farmer's market?
I met Donna Russell at Farmer's Market yesterday to pick up my board packet.
But which farmer's market was it? Largemont?
It's no, the actual Farmer's Market on.
Oh, the farmer's market. Ah. I was wondering.
The one on Third.
Yeah. So this was just like a little white thing growing on some bush along the street.
That's so gorgeous.
That's so neat, Phyllis.
My friend calls them my smashed flowers.
Nice. I like it.
Are you using those in your box today?
So I thought I would. I could line the place with them. And I found a little, I have a little,
Oh, little wreath. Nice. I like that.
little grapevine leaves or whatever. So I thought that the flower could go like inside it,
So cute.
like a little frame for the flower on the wall.
Very neat.
I have these little, this is a little snowman I made out of rose petals.
Oh,
So I thought I could make a little figure or something out of the flowers to go into the diorama.
love that.
The material.
So when you do this with roses, do you take the petals off and then dry the individual roses of each petal, or do you?
No, you have to disassemble it. And then
Okay, that's what I thought.
you
Okay.
create a rose, you just put the petals back together again. After
Okay. Okay.
Somebody sent me some wrapping paper recently. It's actually handmade paper with materials pressed into it. So you see leaves and whatever.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's really nice.
I like that.
I like those.
The background, so everything will be natural material.
Very organic. Phyllis, do you work on pieces seasonally?
I mean, by what's blooming when?
Yes.
Not really. I just keep them all stored in, mostly in phone directories,
Hmm.
and then pull them out when I need them.
Does anyone know if Michael's craft stores are still open?
Yes, they're open.
Yeah.
They are. Great.
They
Well,
were,
some of them are. I don't think there's anything on the city side of the hill. I think it's in Studio City or something, isn't it?
yeah.
No, there's one by us on Olympic.
Oh, is there?
It's Olympic and La Brea. You know, in that new shopping area.
Oh,
It's good. They have a Target and a Michael's and a Sprouts.
Okay.
I know where
Oh,
you,
you mean La Brea and San Vicente?
Yes, yes. I always get Olympic and that place where they all come together practically.
Right.
oh, that's great. There's one there that's open.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Are you sure? I'm pretty
Thanks.
sure it's open. Didn't you?
Unless the governor shut them down.
Well, they do, yeah.
Lick is open too.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And there's a bunch of stores also on La Cienega that are art stores with crafty things.
Right.
Yeah, and the Blick store is open on Beverly. You ever been to that one?
Yeah.
Art,
No.
Blick
Yeah.
Art Supply.
Yes. Often.
Miss going into stores and choosing.
Well, I have my artsy friends here. Does anybody here have any connections to people who do chalk art?
You
I
mean
love chalk art, but no. You mean like the sidewalk stuff?
Yes.
you like Bert in Mary Poppins?
Yeah, Mary Poppins.
Be great, Phyllis. Just bring Dick Van Dyke in.
Right about now, I'm wishing I had gotten more little branches and twigs, but I'll put them in after I go for a walk later.
What is the best way to make these three-dimensional or multi-dimensional?
Okay, there are several ways to do it. One of the easiest ways, let me see if I can show you, is take a little box or a piece of cardboard or an egg carton.
Oh, you showed that.
And, you know, you make it like a pedestal.
Right.
You can go sideways on the back and then you glue on top.
Mm-hmm.
It can go on the ground.
Uh-huh.
It can hang from the ceiling if you want to have something flying.
Okay.
That's what I do. If you have spare foam core lying around, that you can stack with that.
Okay.
You do.
I was also thinking like empty pill bottles might make a nice pedestal.
And here's I cut up an egg crate. You can see that this is
The egg crate. That's clever.
these toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. You would cut a piece of that, and
Mm-hmm.
then you could mount whatever it is on top. You might put a little cover on it or slits in it and have it standing upright, like how they do for children's. I'm doing a class on Thursday called Paper Plate Zoo, and we're making animals out of paper plates, and they'll be standing on these little pedestals.
So when you put in your the Lucretia Borgia, how did you have her standing up? How did you have all those stacked up?
She's glued. She's glued onto. I put a foot on the back of her, and she's glued to the floor.
I'm sorry, you put a what behind on the back of her?
A little foot. For instance, if I had something I wanted to. Say I wanted this to stand up straight, right? And well, I would actually just glue it. But if I didn't want to just glue it to the floor, I wanted it to do something else, I could mount something behind it and then glue that.
I see.
That works when you have things hanging from walls and ceilings too. It's a trick, a little, they call it a step. So you make a cardboard step, and they can be any size. They can be layered, they could have close to the wall, further away, further away. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Are you having fun? Yeah, I am.
I made really stupid decisions, and it'll take me 7 years to do this.
I've had a glue issue, so I'm just kind of listening and getting my ideas together and playing a little.
What kind of glue issues?
I don't have any. It's all dried out.
Oh. Would you like an instant recipe for glue?
Oh, sure.
Okay, 2 tablespoons of flour.
Okay.
In a jar.
And
add tiny amounts of water and keep stirring it with a little stir until you get glue paste, and you thin it down to be, not thin, sour cream consistency, and that works.
Wow.
That's right. I used to use glue as a little kid. My mother made glue paste from flour and water.
Yeah, flour and water, glue paste. Really easy. And it dries like paper mache would look, white. But then you can paint it. You can paint it after.
That idea of a foot is good too. I like that. A foot, yeah, you can put that in.
And then you can brush it on with a Q-tip. You don't even need to have a brush.
Oh, with the self-made glue.
Yeah. About to open my next calendar. This one is the National Wildlife Federation.
Oh, calendars. That's a good idea. Huh?
They have beautiful photographs to cut up.
This is the time that I wish my parents were still in their house and I was there, because they had more stuff that would be great for all this, which we don't really have.
This is a wonderful thing to do with family photographs. I mean, don't use the photographs, but print them and then use the copies.
Right.
As a backdrop or as
anything.
Yeah.
But I love Aleka's idea of doing a black and white copy and then coloring it in.
Oh, I missed that. It must have been when I was looking for my glue. Black and white copy and coloring it in. Oh, the black and white copy on the print, and then.
Or you could just use, or you could have a color copy made. But it's amazing what my little Xerox machine will do.
It gives it a whole different quality if you color it in yourself.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. You know what works well are highlighters.
I use Copic markers. I love them. I get them at Blick.
What? Yeah.
Markers?
Copic, C-O-P-I-C. They're alcohol based, and so you can blend things with them very easily.
Oh, what a great idea.
I have.
Oh, sorry.
Aleka, I heard you also do jewelry.
I'm not really a jewelry maker. I have done it. I've done it with my children's art class.
What do you use? What medium?
Well, it depends on what we're working on. I've done what medium? We make pins with puzzle pieces. We use puzzle pins. We've done clear contact paper with trapping imagery and sequins and things like that inside and making bracelets. What else have we done? I've made salt silk beads with many a child, many a person. Actually, it makes great beads. Have you ever done that? Salt dough. It's flour, water, and salt. And the salt makes it hard as a rock when you bake it at a very low temperature. And you can make beautiful beads out of it.
What is it called?
Salt dough. It's like a bread dough, but you can't eat it. It's just it's too salty because of the salt.
Oh, okay.
It's like the
Like
easy
those dough ornaments that people were making?
dough ornaments, right? Exactly. All those ornaments you see all over the world are made from this recipe.
Oh.
Because
It's like, yeah, it's like Play-Doh.
you have to cook and use oil, and I mean we use a little oil, but Play-Doh you have to cook.
Oh, that's true. But
When you're working with children, you want something that's instant. When I work, I want something that's instant. I want
So it just dries in the sun, right?
it can dry in the sun. It can dry in a very low oven.
wow.
And it's, well, I'll show you an example. I have my beads over here. I just haven't strung them yet. Because I did this with a children's class, and then I thought, what am I going to do with this leftover Play-Doh? Do you see? I don't know if you can see. But these are the long beads. Oh
Those are nice.
yeah, they're fun. I'll wear them once I string them. Excuse me.
That would be fun to do.
Hello. This is those junk calls.
Yeah.
And that's the phone my daughter calls on, so I always think it's her.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug this.
And there's another way of making beads, which is to take the little triangles and roll them up. Triangles of newspaper, magazines, this and that. And you just roll them, and they make a beautiful little paper bead.
I have some of those from, I found at antique markets from back, probably.
Yeah, you know what I love about them is that they weigh nothing when you wear them. They're good for traveling. In the good old days when we traveled. All right. Anybody know what time we stop? We don't stop for a while, right?
1:30 would make it 2 hours.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to jump off, but I did decorate my box.
Ooh, let's see. Ooh.
Wait, I'm coming close.
You're so cute. You're such a good teacher.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I
That
just,
is beautiful. Do you know what you're going to put inside your box?
I'm gonna find those bees.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Love that.
It's
Very
just,
Napoleon.
yes, it's
With the
very,
bee. Yeah,
it's very French, right?
Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
French provincial.
I must say it photographs better than it looks in real person.
You have to take that to the Apple store when you're done.
Oh yeah, here, here's how you can repurpose your AirPod.
That's great. Well, you know what? Maybe they'll put it up on a poster, like a.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know how they're famous for Instagramming themselves. But yeah, here's the apple bag.
They do have very sturdy boxes, so that's a good idea.
They are really sturdy boxes. So anyway.
That's what we're paying for.
Right.
Good.
Thank you for all that paper and marketing. This has been so great. I'm going to continue to listen, but I'm not going to work on my box anymore because I'm going to work on my Ebell responsibilities.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
That's beautiful. I love that. What is that? Tell us about that. What is it?
Oh, look at that. Phyllis,
Ooh.
that's amazing.
Did you make that? What is that?
Ooh, it's just like the rolled paper you were just talking about, which made me go find it. It's just
Oh, that's fabulous. That's beautiful.
How did you attach it to the
How did you glue it?
well, I mean, I found this at a flea market. I didn't make it, but
Is it a coffee can on the inside? One of those metal coffee cans?
it looks like an old oatmeal can. It's cardboard.
Right, yeah. What a great idea. We can do that.
They had, I don't know what these little plastic thingies are on the top to decorate it in the bottom, but
Like a planter?
pardon me?
Like a planter?
Yeah, but it's cardboard, so you wouldn't be able to
Oh,
unless it was a dried plant. But it's just all like the little rolled pieces of comics, I think.
Oh, what a great idea. Comics are such a beautiful graphic to work with.
Right.
You know those purses have you seen those purses that people make where they fold it into triangular shapes and I saw somebody with one today and she was going into the tennis club and I have a feeling that she bought it on Larchmont at the farmer's market. You know, they're made with paper and then they're laminated and they're triangles that are sort of woven together. I think they're so amazing. You know what they are.
I'm not sure what they are either.
I don't know.
Did we lose Victoria? Victoria, are you here?
I think they're working.
Someone came in and I wanted to let them in to do some work.
We
Look it up. And
Still here. But I've misplaced my glue. I have a box with all those things in it, and so I'm trying to just assemble the background of my box so you can see it because I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. But this has been great. So
fun. Isn't it fun? Maybe we can do it again. And also,
That'd be terrific.
and if we don't actually have it scheduled, we might be able to have like an art date. So some of us can just sit here and work on our things and chat and finish.
It's fun.
Yes, because if you don't make time for it, then you won't do
It's
it.
not going to happen. And we're so busy. I mean, believe it or not, sometimes I'm so breathlessly busy between the walk and the Pilates class and the yoga class and the this and that I don't have time to do artwork, but I'm really trying.
this has been helpful to me. I needed a break from the monotony and then just everything else.
Mm-hmm. Also, one of the things I love about this process is that it gives you a different way of looking at things, like trash or recycling or nature. You know, I have a pile of pine cones now that because of this, I collect little things when I'm on a walk. Beautiful leaves, dried flowers. I keep trying to figure out what I can do with dried bougainvillea. You know how beautiful those are when they fall off the tree?
oh yeah.
Lots of it if anybody needs any.
So I'm gonna put this, oh, Laura had to jump off. I'm gonna put this picture in the chat. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. It just says image. But they're woven paper bag. They're woven, basically they're made with magazines and they're woven handbags.
Huh.
I found these photos on Pinterest. Let me do a screenshot photo. That'll make it easier and then you can see it because God only knows what Pinterest is doing with that link, right?
I don't know if we can see it.
Yeah, I haven't put it up there yet. Sorry, I have to, you have to
Okay.
take it, then you,
I'm filled with awe that you know how to do this.
well, that's where I'm, yeah, this is what I can, I can do this at this point. Okay. Let's stick it here. Okay.
Barbie, I see beautiful ribbons being attached to something.
Oh, yes, I have a whole ribbon collection,
Oh,
which I'm happy to share. If, well, in this environment, it's a little hard to share, but
Well, you could put it at the bottom of your walk, and we could drive by.
do a drive.
I did that with bags of newspaper for kids who we were doing paper mache, and nobody has newspapers anymore except me.
Oh, right.
Right.
So, you know, I had to make bags of newspaper and leave them on the bottom of my stairs. And my students.
Look at Susie's got
I
something.
think
there.
I'm finished.
You're amazing.
Ooh.
God,
That is
Can you see that?
gorgeous.
Wait,
So-
I'm gonna-
The
I'm
main
gonna put you on
photograph is
speaker.
one I took
Ah,
in Ecuador in the market. This
Oh,
woman holding the,
beautiful.
and she was almost hiding her face when she saw me take her photo
my
with
God.
the calla lilies.
Oh, that's
So
gorgeous.
I
I
added,
love that.
so it's in a cigar box.
We should do a show of these things, or just maybe even online. We can ask Meredith, and we can just have her put our pictures of our work up.
And then I also have a little Peruvian woman because I love indigenous cultures.
I
and
see
the
her.
way they dress. You can
That's-
see she's standing on top of the wooden thread spool. Can you see it at the
Yeah.
bottom?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So she's like a little indigenous woman
Mm-hmm.
and on top of the spool of thread.
Oh,
Then I have a little tassel
Oh,
and a shell and a little pine cone thing. Well, not pine cone, but a cone that fell off of my tree.
I love it.
And a little clay pot that I think is from Guatemala or Peru with
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I envisioned we would be doing. Is you did it.
and then a little wooden butterfly. I think that one's from,
Love the outside too. Let's see the exterior.
oh yeah, and then I put this ikat fabric from India. It's a cotton ikat from India on the outside.
Wow.
It was kind of hard to glue it down.
It's gorgeous, gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love it.
really gorgeous.
And you put it all together just in the last hour and a half?
Yes.
And did you have a plan for it when you started, or did you?
No, I just I had a whole bunch of stuff together here, and just when we started, I kind of had an idea. I wanted to use that photograph because I love that photograph. I made greeting cards out of that photograph,
Nice, very
and
nice.
and it fit into the cigar box so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of started with that, and then everything else. I just kind of saw what I had, and it just sort of all fell into place.
That's
I did take two other classes in assemblage art. One at
Where
the Craft and Folk Art Museum several years ago. I can't remember the name of the guy that taught it, but that was the first time.
there's
And
a
I took one with Loretta Lowell. Do you know Loretta Lowell? She
No.
lives in Coachella Valley, and she's an assemblage artist, and she does classes, like one-on-one classes.
okay.
well,
But,
Such a good idea. Wow, I want to do that too. Take classes. That would be fun.
But I agree with you about Betty Saar. She is my favorite artist. I totally love her work.
Yeah, she's
Ever since I discovered her, I've just been.
Well, you
such a
should look
fan
up
of hers.
Red Grooms because
Yeah, I've seen his work before too.
oh, you have, yeah, but he disappeared. That's the thing. I thought,
Yeah.
I mean, he never became breakout famous. Like,
Yeah.
and he was so much more
was
talented.
around a lot. I mean, and I think he was written up in various magazines, popular magazines, not
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
in
when
the
we
art
lived in
world.
when we lived in New York City in the 80s, we used to see his work a lot there
Yeah.
at shows and museums and mostly galleries.
I once went to a show where it was like you walked into his world, you know, it was like an environmental art installation. Nothing.
There was a kids' furniture store on 3rd Street, maybe, that for a long time had in the window this kind of bunk bed that he had designed that was like a double-decker bus or something with like characters hanging off of it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
very cool.
Uh-huh.
But then they disappeared, he disappeared, the whole world disappeared.
Yeah. Maybe he had drug problems or something, or alcohol.
Are you sure he's still alive?
Well, I looked him up and I saw a picture of him as an older gentleman, but who knows, you know. He was older than I was anyway, back in the day.
Patricia, were you able to do the screen share?
You know what? I'm going to do this screen share right now, and then I'm going to show you guys this picture. Can you see
Oh,
it?
I have that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
I've got it.
Yeah. Aren't those the coolest thing?
Yeah.
They're kind of like, didn't we, when like in elementary school, we used to
Yeah. Like
do
we
something very similar with gum wrappers,
Gum
right?
I
wrappers.
also remember making potholders.
Oh, that's cool.
This purse to show you, it's popsicle sticks.
Oh, wow.
Very pretty.
You mentioned like woven purses. I showed this at my little, I have a friend who has vintage collector Zooms, which I think would be fun to start.
Yeah.
And so they told me that these were kits, because I used to have a lamp. I bought a popsicle stick lamp too, and I don't have that anymore. I sold it. But.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Well, you know, Cynthia Komsky used to collect, I don't know if you guys who know Cynthia have seen them. She used to collect these cans that were made by artists, and they would do these incredible elaborate sculptures with the rolled up tin.
Those are done in Africa, aren't they?
You know, I think it's an art form that, yeah, Cynthia, I'm not sure where she and David, they used to collect those. I have an airplane. I think I don't know where it is now, but we had one. It's very interesting to see what people can do with tin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I have monkeys made out of bottle caps from Africa.
I'll
that
show
are
you
very
something
cool.
I have. I'll go get it.
Yeah, those are very cool. There was a woman on Larchmont who was making really interesting bracelets with rubber material that she sourced from Africa.
Ah,
Yeah, she was, I don't remember. I don't remember if I wrote a story about her, but I know I bought bracelets for my daughter to wear at summer camp, and she loved them, and then they got lost. Oh, what have you got?
I have something from Brazil,
Oh,
from my honeymoon.
oh yeah, look at that. That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's tin art. Isn't that
Tin
good?
art is spectacular. Yeah.
there's an artist that shows it a lot of, like they have it at the Broad. I think it's a guy. They have him at the
Little
Broad. I've seen him at LACMA, I think. From Ethiopia.
Oh, the bottle cap person?
No, it's just pieces of woven metal, I believe. And it's really cool looking. And they're just like made as like blankets, but you can hang it and drape it in different ways. And it's sort of beautiful.
The one at LACMA, if it's in that big building on the wall when you like near the bookstore, is that the one you're thinking of?
I think I saw it at a special exhibit, not
Okay,
a
because
permanent.
there's a giant, and there's one at the Broad too, giant blankets made of bottle caps by an African.
Oh, that's El Anatsui. Right? El Anatsui. He's from Ghana.
Oh.
And yes, and he does and they look like huge blankets.
Right,
Yeah.
There's one at the Fowler. In fact, the Fowler Museum had a wonderful exhibit of him quite a few years ago, but they have one on permanent display. in that section they call intersections. There's a huge one. And it's made from the labels from bottles.
Oh,
Yeah, he's amazing. And then there's one I saw recently, Moffat Takadiwi. He's from Zimbabwe, I think. And he does huge sculptures that use like old toothbrushes or old bottle caps or all kinds of trash. And they're amazing.
Wow.
well, I've been doing that with stuff I get on recycling day, recycling evenings. My evening stroll is also looking for recycling shapes. And I can show you the doggy. Let's see.
If anybody wants to do anything with corks, I've got a ton of corks.
Me too.
Do.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
If you drink a lot of wine, you have a lot of corks.
There was a place where we were recycling them, but I'm not sure if they still recycle the
I've seen people make really great things with them, but I haven't started doing anything with them.
So this is made of boxes and toilet paper rolls.
Oh, these
And,
beautiful.
and this is like one of those big tubes that fabric comes wrapped around. So
Oh, wow. And just painted and glued together. How's it hold together?
I taped it and then I paper mache'd over it and then I painted it.
Oh, you did that painting. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It feels very Marameko-y 60s.
Yeah. Very Mexican,
Uh-huh.
Covinoid psycho-Mexican is what it is.
That's good. I like that. Psycho-Mexican.
Or is it psycho-covinoid, maybe? Shall we share what we've done? I haven't done that much, but I'll share. Anybody else want to share?
Well, we could wait a couple more minutes. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, let's keep working. Or wait, Victoria, you should show us.
No, I'm not finished at all. I'm just getting
Let's
it.
work for a few more minutes.
But I'm going to have to jump off because I have a meeting to go to.
Oh, and then you should share.
Oh, that we should share.
If it's okay. I don't know how you can see this very well. The concept is, can you see it? Wait a minute, let me.
You just have to lower your screen.
Really low chair is what it is. It's
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, so you did that.
Oh.
Yeah, you did the with the.
and I took your suggestion, and this is a beautiful home in Saint-Tropez. The title of this piece is called Living, and if you can see down here, I have Martha's, but I'm going to cover her up. I'm going to keep the living part, and it's also going to. I'm going to leave the Hello Summer. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can switch.
But it's going to be from a, in Japanese art, it's from the bird's eye view. You're looking down on everything. This is going to be from the bug's eye view. And I have a little grasshopper pin. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to maybe do something three-dimensional, like have a table with some food on it and people sitting around, or somebody sitting around it. I haven't decided yet, but I just thought that, this would be something peaceful to look at.
Yeah.
I still have to cover the outside. It's probably going to have, some trees and greenery, something that's in the outdoor theme. I haven't figured it out yet. But it was fun doing this. I enjoyed it. I have a lot of little goodies that I could put in these, but I just didn't dig them out yet. So
This is fabulous.
so I mean, well,
Beautiful.
fabulous, but it's
No, I'll tell you why I think it's fabulous is because it captures. Wait, I lost you some. Can you see me?
yeah, I can see you. You're the screen.
You've gone back to Zoom.
I did.
I see her.
Okay. But anyway, what I think is fabulous about it is because it has such a air of longing and nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I love the south of France. I mean, I used to spend a lot of time there every year, and
yeah, especially now. I mean,
I probably would be there right now, like you said, if it weren't for COVID.
that's how I feel about Italy. I would be there. I would be in Italy right now.
Yeah. So, this is just how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
But I loved the piece from that Susie did.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. You've inspired me to do something more because I haven't done a lot of things with my hands for a long time as far as creative artwork. So I have to go. I'm sorry. It's been a pleasure spending time with you ladies, and living.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Wonderful.
Living is my theme.
Yay. The life.
So go off and
So
live.
enjoy.
Right, exactly. And I'll let you see it when I'm finished, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to make that happen.
Yeah. All right. So now, is anybody good at Zoom? Because suddenly I have lost all of you, the image of all of you, and all I
Okay, go back where you go up to the top, and maybe you can. Is there like a little square, like a gallery?
I think some things are just covering it up. Can you go look at your programs and just click on the Zoom icon, and then it'll sort of bring us right back to you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Okay. Ah, what a brilliant suggestion.
Boy, I know.
Yeah.
I think if we're all back in the club, we can all share some supplies. We can
Yeah.
Yes.
each other have an exchange day, like Barbara can bring ribbons.
Oh, what a brilliant idea. I love that too. And the bee box can get to Patty.
Yeah.
Save the bee box to Patty.
Although poor Phyllis, she doesn't want to keep it around forever.
No, I've had it around for a long time because it's
There you
a
are.
tea thing that I got. It's an old
It's
box.
hard to throw cute stuff away.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What do you do? What do you show? Are you sharing, Barbie?
I'm just sharing because I'm losing battery power.
That's great.
Ooh, wonderful.
It's
Wait,
just
let me,
my,
I want to see it close.
Nice. Nice.
I love that. I wanna go there.
Yeah, me too.
Barbara,
that-
talk more so that you become my main screen.
Oh yeah, me too. How do we do that?
I'm
She
at
has
the
to talk.
beach. Oh, I'm at the beach here. It's in my happy place. So I'm not done though. There's a lot more to do on it. I was moving very slowly, but having fun.
But is that a photo? What is the material used?
That's a photo and then some things cut out, some other pieces. The sea glass is at the bottom, actual sea glass and some live shells.
Ooh.
That makes me cry.
Oh. Gee. Well, I love the beach and it's falling apart because I think my glue isn't strong enough for the sea glass.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering if anybody can suggest if there's a better glue for the sea glass.
Did you use tacky? Tacky is the best.
Tacky, no. But the one by Eileen?
Yeah, this one. And this is, I don't know if you can see it, quick dry.
Okay, I will
And
get that.
here,
I
and
know
it's-
you suggested it.
Yeah. That one holds, that once it's dry, it will hold anything.
Okay, will do. Thank you. I may lose all of you because my battery's going.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been fantastic and I love your work.
Thanks. Thanks.
I want to show you, I'm not finished yet, but
Okay. Oh, there you are. You disappeared for a while. Good.
Yeah. you see,
Oh.
Oh.
That's
I
wonderful.
just put there, I'm not finished yet, so I'm still thinking what I'm going to add in and more character, something like that.
Did you paint that?
Yeah, I paint that.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Whatever I can paint, I just want paint, then I add something to match them, then easier. Yeah, I got the flower from my yard this morning. Flower, yeah, and also I made the little chair, something like that, and the fence, and the little lamp stand on in the grass.
How
Yeah.
did you make them, Ruyan?
I'm sorry?
How did you make them? You said you made them
Yeah, I made them.
with
Ju-
wood?
You can, no, I can, actually the fence, I use the stick from my yard, from the branch, something and glue together, and the flower from the yard, and actually the little bands, actually I have to cut down a little bit. So because I put you can see the bottom, the graph, very bottom. That's a form. I painted like a green color. Then I can poke in. Otherwise, if you glue in, it's not really stay well. So I can poke in, use any something that's easier. I have to cut down a little bit, and then you can use the clay to put the little table, and then just paint on color what I want. Yeah. And also there's ocean. I think this one, I think most people, they cannot go to a beach. So I want to create it my own backyard beach. So I can just walk, go back to the beach.
Great.
Yeah. From car. Okay. Thank you.
Beautiful image that is. Wow, thank you. Okay, well, I'll show you what I did. I'm just beginning. It seems that I am moving slowly and I don't know what direction I'm going in yet. But I think it has something to do with being outside. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, wow.
This was this word exercise that we do in writing, our Saturday writing group. We do these words over and over, and I decided that they were graphic and I wanted to cut them up and use them. But I don't know where I'm going yet. So
Are those multiple?
They make a beautiful background.
Aleka? So it's it's a collage that you've put on the back there?
Yeah, it's just cut paper. I cut up the calendar. I cut up those pieces of writing, and I think I'll build out from there, maybe three-dimensionally. It's something to do with going into nature, into the mountains, and getting away from the horror. But to be continued.
I like the message.
Yeah.
I love all of your messages.
Yeah, should we all?
I love all of these messages too. Yeah.
So,
Helene, do you want to share yours?
I'm so not far at all. I did mine inside the back of a canvas.
I like that.
And I did a kind of ethereal, out of focus garden scene in the back. And I was going to write on it broken, 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 or cut out words. That's, somehow I haven't figured out how best to do that. And then I was going to put a person in front running. You see this?
Yeah.
Cool.
And where I made the hole punches, I'll do thread and connect the person to, because this is canvas, I can sew it onto the canvas so that the person is stretched in front of the background, but it still needs more. But that was kind of my concept.
Wow.
and the message is the sort of stress. Is that what you're sort of
I wasn't doing COVID as much as Black Lives Matter, which has really been exhausting me mentally to try to really deal with our place, my place, a white woman's place in all of this. And just basically that the system, the world is broken in so many ways, including COVID. But that's what I was sort of dealing with. So I was looking for a box of hope and healing.
That's so great. You know, I had a long talk with John Wellborn yesterday. Oof,
Oh, really?
that was horrible.
I don't know who that is. Who is it?
So John Wellborn is the publisher of the Larchmont Chronicle. This can go no further, ladies. This is top secret. I shouldn't say this, but Helene knows him very well because Helene is a wonderful writer.
Helene, thank you.
Helene. She's a really good contributor and writer for them. And we just had this conversation and it was just, I'm sure you've all been there. You really don't want to be rude, but you just are going nowhere in the conversation. And he actually had the audacity to say, white voices are being drowned out at this time. white men
Not
in
surprised.
particular.
What?
It sounds so much like the Kavanaugh hearing, right? White men are under attack, and white men do not have a platform to speak. And I just said to him, I'm sorry, you cannot say that because you own a newspaper. So you cannot. But it was just, it was one of those things where it was like, wow, this is what it looks like.
Wow.
This is what cluelessness, this is sort of the embodiment of cluelessness. And I thought, oh, I hope you're not having any conversations, Helene, with him.
Is he the editor or the owner?
Owner, publisher.
Oh,
It's his
owner, publisher, editor.
paper. Yep.
And
Yeah, in fact, he's supposed to come over to my house any minute now to pick up some work that I did, because I edited something for him.
oh, right. And you have to physically hand it to him. That's my favorite part.
I know. Well, that's why I won't go into the office, because things happen with, you have to like hand pieces of paper around and write on them. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. So I do as much as possible electronically, and at least he's nice enough to come and get things. He doesn't make me go.
You'll leave it outside at the foot of your, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So
But,
Lori, did you want to share? Did you have something to show us?
But I will. I don't have a lot because I didn't have a lot of supplies, and I wasn't sure which direction I was going. I was thinking about the healing, but then I just flipped through some magazines and I found a picture. Well, so then I had my shoebox, but then, you know, you talked about depth and I thought maybe it was too big and too much. And I had these old wood boxes that I had plants come in at some point. So there was this really cute little box, which I love, and I will do something with. And I found a photo of sunflowers in the backyard. And I'm gonna I cut it out.
It goes with the box.
It goes kind of with the box, and it was from this old house, which is this. And then I thought of putting that in there and bringing in elements of old home. I mean, I had old homes, renovated old homes. We have one in the Berkshires, and just bring in some outdoor. At first, I thought maybe photographs, make it more personal, because of, we're spending a lot of time at home now. And making it as bright and cheerful and pleasant and enjoyable as so bringing in those elements of who you're sharing the time with and what you're doing, and we're spending a lot of time in our yard. So, that whole element of enjoying one's home and the people that you're spending time with.
Especially old houses, yeah.
Houses, right. I thought about, maybe bringing in some tree elements, or getting a picture of if I bring a chandelier. We have a chandelier outside and inside, maybe, and hanging that from the top. And
that'd be great.
Neat. That's a great box.
So I love the box. I love the idea. I just have to work. I have to get the glue, either make it. I did order it on Amazon. It just didn't arrive. It's supposed to arrive today.
What? That's a shocking story.
I know. Desperate times.
Yeah, I just have to say we're not a terribly artistic, creative family. The one side is, my mother's sister is, but not ours. And it's just been really fun to hear and see some of these gorgeous creations and the art. So it's just different for me, and it's been a lot of fun.
It's very stimulating to see each other, and we get energy from this kind of contact.
Exactly. Phyllis, let's see yours.
Phyllis.
I was just going to say too, I think maybe we should brand these art workshops more as like just play with your hands, rather than imply that everybody has to have artistic talent to do this.
Right.
It's more just like using your hands in your mind. Anyway, so
oh no,
the inside of my box, and I haven't glued the feathers yet.
Oh, neat.
This is the lunchbox. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That's brilliant.
And I made some of this I already had. It's one of my
monkey, a coconut monkey.
It's actually something, I think it's a magnolia tree cone that is But I've been collecting all these natural materials, and in my flower art, I called them my blossom dearies. So then I started making these 3D ones and called them my blossom demons. They're just so, this one is a little too big for this, so I might like figure out something that is going to fit into it better, and then do some.
That's kind of demonic if he's inside the box.
Yeah.
It has a tribal feel.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, then I could set up some other little props inside it besides the little blossom demon. So
Wow.
Bravo.
It could be a good luck demon.
Yeah.
So clever.
The happy one.
Is anybody else left who hasn't shared?
Not sure. I think I have to take off.
Okay.
Have another
Let me
call.
just say before you leave, it's been a pleasure, Barbie, and all of you exceeded, how can I say it? It's not that you exceeded my expectations, but I think it exceeded my my hopes for what this would turn into. You know, I think it's just magnificent.
It was so invigorating.
We did it.
Yes.
Let's give her
It really would be nice to meet regularly and do stuff.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
love that.
Thank you, Aleka, really, for and Helene for.
And Helene.
Thank
I
you.
always
Aleka,
Helene nudged
Helene,
me to do it.
Phyllis, Lori,
This, yeah.
Nudged me.
This
and
is fun. This
Patricia.
is really
Thank
fun.
you.
Yay, Aleka, thank you.
I'm going to write a story about this, and maybe it'll just stay in the Ebell family. Maybe not. We'll see. I'll send it to you, Phyllis, and you can look at it.
Okay.
And I've got your names and some photographs, and I'll send it to Phyllis in its final form, and if you're all willing to sign off on it, we could share it in the Buzz. If you want it to just stay in the Ebell family, it can do that too. So
What I'd love to have happen is for whoever wants to have photos of their work that we did in this workshop to go on the website, which could be
That's a good idea.
a little bit more newsy than it is.
That's a great idea.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Is Meredith still listening? Because she's the one to talk to
No,
about
she-
that.
She dropped off.
Well, we can definitely, I mean, I can talk to Meredith. We can all talk to Meredith, but let me start with this idea of a story. And then you guys could actually send photographs to Phyllis, and then we'll have some additional images.
Yeah, because I would say that we're an intimate group. We got to know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
We got to play with our hands and to share, which, I mean, what more can we ask for, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So true. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well then I'm going to end the go play outside, right?
Thanks,
It's
everybody.
not so hot, we could take walks, I think.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Yeah, now I'm gonna look differently when I walk around.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm looking for some branchy little twigs that I can hang things from or something like that in my box. That's what I want to do.
You know, the
Hey,
jacaranda tree.
my son used to bring in huge branches and things and just hang them all over our house. There was one that we had to duck under on the way into the house once because he made it go from wall to wall of the exterior vestibule. And it's like, and they were always really beautiful and they changed over time. But so
I actually knew someone who painted branches white and then hung beautiful things from them and decorated a wedding with that.
Oh, yeah.
A good idea.
Wonderful Christmas decorations too, with the painted branches to hang ornaments from.
Neat.
that would be nice.
All right, my dears, this is lovely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, ladies. Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.
Bye.
All right, how do I leave? I leave. No, Meredith has to turn us off, right?
We can all leave.
We can
Yeah.
leave.
Just leave.
Oh, I can end the meeting for all.